Live from Innovation Park on the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Tuesday, November 3rd. Tonight, we'll tell you all you need to know about Election Day at Penn State, as well as the university's Faculty Senate's vote on implementing the pass-fail grading model for the fall semester.
We also have more on the overall voter turnout, as well as your sports, entertainment, and weather. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Max Kuegler.
And I'm Knowlton.
We have breaking news regarding the 2020 presidential race. Crowds representing both parties are exchanging words in Houston, Texas, a state that hasn't been won by a Democratic nominee since 1976. Arizona's Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, says the race could go either way in her state, but that presidential candidate Joe Biden has the edge. According to polls, Michigan, a place that figures to be a battleground state, has 92% of all its absentee ballots returned. Biden spoke in Philadelphia moments ago and stated his belief that more people will vote in this election than ever before. Other Pennsylvania suburbs have voters waiting in line for as much as 3 to 4 hours due to heavy turnouts. On the contrary, states like Georgia have voter average wait time clocking in at only 2 minutes. President Donald Trump is expected to remain at the White House the rest of the night, where he has a war room set up in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building.
Election Day was different this year at Penn State, with most students voting by mail-in ballots. However, the university set up polling places in the Bryce Jordan Center and the Hub Robinson Center for students to vote in person on Election Day. PSN News field reporter Izzy Hayes has the story.
Yes, I'm here at the Bryce Jordan Center at University Park, which is one of 91 voting locations located here in Centre County. The Centre County Board of Elections has approved of the BJC to be used as a voting location over the Hub Robinson Center for the first time ever. The BJC's vicinity allows for more social distancing with regards to rules and restrictions due to COVID. It's not too busy right now, but we were told this morning that there was about 170 voters here today. Voters are saying that they are determined and eager to get their ballots in, considering that Pennsylvania is a key state for the 2020 election.
This is the most important election of our nation's history, and especially of our lifetime. It's going to affect all of the graduating seniors and classes below that because, 4 years. And that's one of the biggest concerns that I've heard from students, the job market after they graduate.
The most important election of our lifetimes. There are so many so many issues that are on the ballot that are important to us. We have climate change on the ballot, we have reproductive rights on the ballot, we have healthcare on the ballot, we have voting rights on the ballot, we have racial equality on the ballot. How we vote in this election really will determine the next 40 years of how we see all of those issues.
All ballots must be placed by Friday, November 6th at 5 p.m. Reporting for PSN News, I'm Izzy Hayes.
The State College Police is trying to identify partygoers who are not following social distancing guidelines. The rise in parties in downtown State College has a lot to do with Penn State football season starting back up again. Apartment buildings such as the Rise and Penn Towers have open-air terraces which were packed with hundreds of students during the Nittany Lions season opener against Indiana. Police body cam footage captured facial profiles of over 50 students who attended these parties. Local law enforcement is asking Penn State students for, quote, community assistance in identifying these individuals.
Seniors can text Class Gift 2021 to the number 41444 or visit the website to cast their votes.
Don Roy King, the director of Saturday Night Live, who is also a Penn State alumni, hosted a virtual webinar event through the Donald P. Belisario College of Communications Student Council. PSN News field reporter Angelica Rubin was able to give us an inside look at the event.
I'm Angelica Rubin reporting from the Carnegie Building for Penn State Network News, where we're going to take a quick look back at the recent virtual event with Penn State alum and Saturday Night Live director Don Roy King.
Penn State's Belisario College of Communications hosted the virtual event last Tuesday.
King, a part of the class of 1969, graduated from Penn State with a degree in broadcasting and has won over 10 Primetime Emmy Awards with SNL. Though the event was held on Zoom, students still had the opportunity to chat with King virtually.
There's no worse emotion, no more wasted emotion anyhow than regret. And if I don't do this, if I don't take this risk, I will be kicking myself and saying, "Oh man, maybe I could have done that, or why didn't I try?" And so I thought, hey, why not take the risk? Why not? If I fail, I fail.
College of Communications student council member and freshman journalism major Cade Miller was one of 2 students who moderated the Q&A with King and was instrumental in bringing him back to Penn State.
I'm like a huge SNL fan. Like, watch them all every Saturday. And so I've always just had a passion for live entertainment, TV, and that's what I knew what I was going to do. So I was like, I want to meet my hero, Don Roy King.
Miller contacted King through Penn State's Alumni Association and was able to organize the virtual event with the network television titan himself.
Like, he just like brings a certain happiness and joy to the show, and I feel like that's what like SNL reflects to the audience. So I feel like if he has it within the show, that's what will reflect from the show.
Stage will come back, and movies will come back, and television will come back. But maybe there's also room for a Zoom channel. And I think we've got to consider those possibilities and embrace them and use them in ways that we've never used before.
Keep a lookout for more events sponsored by the Belisario College of Communications. Reporting for Penn State Network News, I'm Angelica Rubin.
3 wellness days are in place for the spring semester at Penn State. February 9th, March 11th, and April 7th are days set aside for students to have a break from classes and reflect on their mental health. The university will offer various virtual programs to its students, all centered around personal wellness and social connection.
Penn State's Faculty Senate officially recommended starting alternative grading for the fall semester. 108 members accepted this proposition and 36 members rejected it. Following the policy's recommendation, it moves to the Administrative Council on Undergraduate Education to vote on the policy on November 5th to potentially implement the grading system. Students can choose between the same 3 options that were offered in the spring. SAT for satisfactory if you earn a C or above in the course, V for pass if you earn a D or higher in the course, or a Z for no grade if you fail the course. Aaron Bose, the UPUA representative, said, quote, "Alternative grading allows for an ease of mind and increased mental health." End quote. In a survey, 68.75% of respondents said they would utilize alternative grading.
Stay tuned, because after your local weather, Colton Plasluski will give you the latest in entertainment.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Long, a student meteorologist here at the Penn State Campus Weather Service, with a look at our forecast for the rest of this week. And if you enjoyed today's weather, then you will really enjoy the rest of this week. We have lots of sunny skies and warm temperatures in store. So let's dive in and take a look at what we expect. We start tonight at 10 p.m. and our temperatures will dip down into the lower 40s overnight tonight. We'll have those clear skies and we'll stay clear overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll dip down to about 40 for our low temperature here in State College, and then we'll warm up nicely tomorrow, warmer than we were today, even up into the mid 60s with clear skies. We expect to stay clear throughout the rest of our Wednesday and into our Wednesday evening hours. Now taking a look a little bit further out, by Thursday night, we could see a few clouds move in overnight Thursday night, but they'll really move out by the time we get into Thursday morning. There we go for Thursday night. We see those cloudy skies expected. By Friday morning, we're going to be clear here in State College, and we really should be staying clear throughout the rest of Friday and into the weekend. There we go, Friday night staying clear. Saturday morning, clear skies here. We'll expect temperatures to make their way up into the 60s tomorrow, and then again on Wednesday, and then again on Thursday, again on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and so on. Really nice weather moving forward. Our forecast for overnight tonight, we're expecting a low of 34 degrees with clear skies overnight. Tomorrow, expecting our high to be about 61 degrees with sunny skies and warm temperatures. We'll have a slight wind at 5 miles an hour. And then taking a look at that 7-day forecast, really take a look at that. I mean, it's November. You really wouldn't expect this for this time of year, but for the most part, we'll have mostly sunny skies, not any rain expected really for the entire forecast period, and we'll have those temperatures in the mid to upper 60s really for every afternoon for the next week or so. The next chance for clouds, it doesn't seem like we'll have in the middle of the day is until Tuesday. We could have again some clouds overnight Thursday night and into Friday morning, but we'll have sunny skies for our Friday. But again, clouds for our Tuesday next week and a high of 66. Otherwise, sunny skies and our highs in the mid to upper 60s. For the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Chris Long. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Colton Plozlewski with your entertainment update. The Penn State Student Programming Association is hosting a virtual Q&A with comedian actor Eric Andre. Andre is best known for hosting and co-writing The Eric Andre Show on Adult Swim, as well as appearing in numerous movies such as The Internship, Rough Night, and the live-action version of The Lion King. The Q&A event will take place at 8 p.m. on November 5th, and it will be moderated by actor and writer David Gabori. The event is free for Penn State students, and the link to sign up and submit questions can be found on the Daily Collegian's website. Last week, the Palmer Museum of Art hosted an event called Halloween at Home, Museum House of Horrors, where conversations were held about the strange, old, and/or creepy items that the museum has to offer. PSN News field reporter Chloe Mezagaitis has the story.
I'm Chloe Mezagaitis, and I'm here outside the Palmer Museum of Art, where last night they held a virtual Halloween at Home event for all viewers.
Halloween may be looking different this year, but the Palmer Museum of Art is trying to make the most of it by offering a virtual art experiences to locals through Zoom. Through their Halloween at Home Art After Hours event, the museum showcased a variety of diverse pieces displayed within their museum. The museum staff tried to incorporate Halloween imagery through a variety of ominous artworks, wearing costumes, and sharing several fun facts through their conversation hour. Palmer graduate assistant Carrie Lee Mongaluzzo says this program was in the work for many years and restarted when museum educator Brandy Breslin came into the mix.
This is now the third year of Art After Hours at the Palmer, and this is a program that we started once Brandy Breslin joined us as our museum educator as a way to get university students more engaged in the museum and come up with a social program that was targeted at the university's student audience.
As for the Halloween theme, Mongaluzzo says her and her team of undergraduate interns helped come up with the idea months in advance.
This particular theme, at the beginning of the semester, we were kind of planning out what our Art After Hour themes would be. We weren't quite sold on the Halloween theme yet. We had some other ideas, and all of our undergraduate student interns were like, no, you need to do Halloween.
Museum educator Brandy Breslin says her and members of her team have worked very hard since lockdown in March to utilize their virtual platform in order to keep audiences engaged with the museum even from afar.
We've worked really hard, Carrie and myself and the education team in creating virtual programs, videos, virtual tours, these live online programs like tonight.
Although the Palmer Museum is set to open January 6th, Breslin says they will continue to utilize their new virtual format throughout the rest of the year.
For PSN News, I'm Chloe Mezagaitis.
The Penn State School of Music will use a $2 million gift they received towards establishing the David P. Stone Chair. Stone was a Penn State alumnus and music enthusiast who had supported the school for 18 years. He passed away back in 2018 as a result of injuries he sustained from a car accident. School of Music director David Frago stated that the gift will attract, quote, world-class faculty, as well as help students grow into the next generation of great performers and scholars. Johnny Depp lost his libel case against the Sun tabloid newspaper for labeling him as a wife-beater on Monday. British Justice Andrew Niccol stated that he believed Depp abused ex-wife Amber Heard, even to the extent that she feared for her life. In his ruling, Niccol stated that the great majority of alleged assaults against Depp were proved to the civil standard. Lawyers representing Depp called the ruling flawed and bewildering, and that it would be ridiculous for Depp not to appeal the decision. This case is arguably the largest English libel trial of the 21st century, and the ruling is expected to deal a major blow to Depp's reputation and possibly imperil his career. That was your entertainment update. Stay tuned because after the break, Angelica Singer will bring you the latest from the world of sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Angelica Singer with your sports update. After the Nittany Lions' 38-25 loss to Ohio State, Penn State football falls out of the AP poll for the first time since 2016. Before Monday's ranking, Penn State was in the AP top 25 for 63 weeks straight. The streak was the third longest in Penn State program history and the fourth best in the nation. Saturday's loss also marks the first 0-2 start for the Penn State since 2012, when they lost to University of Ohio and Virginia. Penn State will face Maryland on Saturday in Beaver Stadium, where they hope to get their first win of 2020. ESPN's College Game Day visited Penn State for the fourth consecutive time ahead of its game with Ohio State. Although the event looked a little different this year and was held inside Beaver Stadium, PSN News field reporter Brooke Stake had an opportunity to talk to some Penn State students on how they feel about not being able to attend College Game Day this year.
ESPN's College Game Day is coming to Penn State's annual whiteout game for the fourth consecutive year. However, the show will not be going live on the Hub lawn like last year. Instead, the Game Day crew will be setting up shop inside Beaver Stadium and will be closed off to fans. The College Game Day crew rolled into Beaver Stadium on Thursday afternoon. While many students were hoping to get the opportunity to see inside looks of the set at least, the crew moved quickly into the stadium while setting up in the rain. There were many students who planned on going, but now they can't. I had the opportunity to interview senior Aaron Rolfing, who is on the executive board of Penn State's student section, Nittanyville. Rolfing had a lot to say about the changes made this year to Nittanyville, but said they are doing the best they can to contribute to game days, like making banners to hang inside the stadium. He also mentioned that not carrying the student section his senior year is upsetting, especially because the whiteout game is against Ohio State this year. I also caught up with sophomore Julian Gruber, who felt sad he couldn't attend College Game Day like he normally would, but understands that safety comes first. He also felt that having no fans inside Beaver Stadium for the whiteout dramatically affects the game, players, and coaches. Gruber said it is definitely a different setting to adjust to, but is happy that Penn State is planning alternative activities for the game. Even though there will be no fans allowed inside Beaver Stadium during the game, there will be 3 on-campus watch parties located at Panzer Stadium, Beard Field, and Medler Field. Reporting from State College, Brooke Stake for PSN News.
2 former Penn State athletes have 2 firsts in their respective professional sports careers. Former Penn State wrestler Cody Law won his MMA debut with Bellator, which he signed with in September. Law defeated Orlando Ortigo in the first round via submission. In Happy Valley, Law had an overall record of 21-9 in 2 seasons. Former Penn State wide receiver KJ Hamler caught his first touchdown on his NFL career on Sunday, and in dramatic fashion too. The Denver Broncos were trailing 21-3 to the Los Angeles Chargers, but on the final possession of the game, Broncos quarterback Drew Lock found Hamler in the end zone as time expired to pull off the 31-30 come-from-behind victory over the Chargers. After the game, Hamler said this was the first game-winning touchdown he's ever caught on any level. The 2 Pennsylvania NFL teams extended their division leads following victories on Sunday. The Pittsburgh Steelers stay unbeaten with a 28-24 comeback win over the Baltimore Ravens. Ben Roethlisberger threw 2 touchdowns in the second half after trailing by 10 points at halftime. The Steelers also took advantage of Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson's mistakes. Jackson threw 2 interceptions and lost 2 fumbles, with one occurring inside of Pittsburgh's own 5-yard line. The Philadelphia Eagles also defeated the Dallas Cowboys 23-9 on Sunday Night Football. It wasn't the cleanest game for the Eagles as Carson Wentz threw 2 interceptions and lost 2 fumbles, but his 2 touchdown passes helped Philadelphia propel over the injury-plagued Cowboys. Rodney McLeod's 53-yard touchdown on a fumble recovery was icing on the cake as the Eagles take control of the NFC East. That was your sports update. This week, PSN News interview anchor Bernadette Bertina will give you an exclusive interview with first grade teacher Addie Smith, who is also a Penn State alumni, on how grade school teachers are handling COVID-19.
In school, we learn that every good story has its heroes, the people who in the face of danger combat adversity through feats of courage or strength. The current pandemic has shown us many heroes. Some of the bravest unsung heroes of COVID-19 are the teachers and educators that put their health and safety at risk every time they step into the classroom. We know how colleges and universities are responding to the pandemic, but to find out more about how grade schools are handling COVID-19 guidelines and restrictions, I sat down with first grade teacher and recent Penn State graduate Addie Smith. Addie is currently finishing her master's degree and is teaching in Harrisburg, PA. Hi, Addie. Thanks so much for joining us today. So, you're a recent Penn State grad and you're now teaching first grade, but can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hey, BB, thanks so much for having me. So yes, I am a recent grad of Penn State, and I teach first grade at a local school. When I graduated Penn State in 2017, I got my dream job right out of school, and I really thank Penn State for the education they gave me and all of the opportunities that they gave me.
So what does a typical day in the classroom look like now?
So a few weeks ago, we did a hybrid method where half of our kids came on 2 days a week, the other kids came the other 2 days, and then Friday was meant for a deep clean, and we as teachers taught virtually. Now our kids come to school 5 days a week, and the parts that look different than any other typical year are breakfast, lunch, and shared materials. So for breakfast, half of my kids sit at the carpet and do some type of morning work, while the other half of my kids eat breakfast. So the kids that are eating breakfast, they have to come in, they put all their stuff away, they wash their hands, they eat, they're able to remove their mask and put it on their desk. When they're finished eating, they throw everything away, wash their hands again, and then they switch with another student that's sitting on the carpet. We are required to keep our kids 6 feet apart while they're eating. So with 20 kids, it's difficult to be able to have everyone eat at the same time within the small proximity of the classroom. So that's why we have to split it in half. With lunch, we typically would have 6 to 8 kids at a lunch table, and now we have 3. So it made it difficult at first to kind of navigate the cafeteria and figure out where everybody was going to sit. But now we have desks set up and we've got it working.
How have COVID guidelines and restrictions changed for teachers since the beginning of the pandemic?
At first, when we were hybrid, it was difficult because say I taught my group A 2 math lessons on Monday and Tuesday. I'd have to teach that same math lesson to my group B on Wednesday and Thursday. And then I was teaching a new lesson on Friday, but not everyone logged on to our Zooms because not everybody had technology available. So that is one thing that this whole thing has changed, is the use of technology. Good and bad, because it's given teachers the opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more, but it also puts a stress on teachers as just another thing that we have to learn and do and try and persevere with our students.
Do you think that these guidelines and restrictions are too strict or not strict enough? And do you feel like your safety has been compromised in any way?
With kids not being able to be as responsible for their actions as their grown up or parent that's at home, it makes it difficult to feel safe. I do wear 2 masks during the day, and when I'm teaching small group, I will wear a face shield and glasses. And the one thing that I think that would make teachers feel a little bit more comfortable is that availability of face masks and face shields being available to teachers. And the same thing with breakfast goes towards lunch. The way that our students are set up in our cafeteria is we have one long table that's probably 8 feet, and on each end a student sits there. Now that we're all back, there's a third student that sits right in the middle, and they're all facing different directions. So the ones that are facing that are on the ends might be facing you if you're standing on one side of the table, but the other person is facing the other direction that's in the middle. And the kids slide up and down the bench to talk to each other. So we're doing everything that we can to follow the CDC guidelines. But it's difficult because we are not in complete control. And I think that that's what makes teachers nervous. But as teachers, we have to take in account that we need to be responsible for our own health and safety as well as our students.
How do you wish COVID guidelines and restrictions would change for both teachers and students going forward?
Going forward, I would expect that the guidelines are a little bit more realistic for 6 and 7-year-olds. A classroom full of 20 first graders, teachers, making sure that the health and safety of these young children are purposeful and that we're able to take care of ourselves.
Thanks for all that you do, Addie. Thanks for joining us today. Stay healthy, safe, and from one Penn Stater to another, we are.
Thanks for having me, BB. It was a real pleasure. Penn State.
The United States totaled over 99,000 new cases on Friday, the most amount of cases recorded in a single day in the U.S. This comes after 16 states reported new single-day records for infection numbers. COVID deaths have also jumped 16% from 2 weeks ago, with more than 1,000 Americans dying from COVID this past Thursday. Dr. Michael Osterholm of the University of Minnesota says, quote, "The virus is going to keep coming back," end quote. There's still uncertainty when the infection rates will slow down.
United Airlines will offer free COVID-19 testing to travelers on select flights between Newark Liberty International in New Jersey and London's Heathrow Airport beginning next month in an effort to boost the passengers' confidence in their travel. The 4-week pilot program will go through November 16th to December 11th. All passengers over the age of 2 will be given free rapid testing. The goal is to ensure everyone on board has tested negative for the virus. Toby Inquevist, Chief Customer Officer for United, said, quote, "We believe the ability to provide fast, same-day COVID-19 testing will play a vital role in safety reopening, travel around the world, and navigating quarantines and travel restrictions, particularly to key international destinations like London." End quote. Passengers will have to make appointments and will receive their test results in 15 minutes.
Texas and Hawaii already have a greater early voting turnout than they did during the 2016 election. National pre-election voter turnout passed 2/3 of all ballots cast in 2016. Over 100 million Americans mailed in their ballots.
A federal judge in Washington, D.C. is ordering the Postal Service to look for ballots that may be lingering in some of its facilities. This comes after the concern over ballots not being able to make it to election officials in time. Judge Emmett Sullivan ordered inspectors to look for any remaining ballots in crucial states such as Pennsylvania, Arizona, Texas, and Georgia.
And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.